Hello, this is Chun Bernard. I have been a Christ believer all my life. When I was just being a Sunday Christian, I was living it free and easy. I did not have any questions or had very few questions regarding my faith as a Christ believer. Back then, I was already baptized as an infant. I went to church regularly and I even read the Bible. Specifically, I'm a Catholic and I went for confession every few months and received the body of Christ at least every Sunday. Suddenly, I stayed away from sins because following the Ten Commandments was very important for me. And doing all this, I feel that I'm complete. I was very self assured that I was a good enough disciple of Christ and I'm on my way to be with Him at the end of my earthly life. I recently spoke to another believer in her 70s, and she shared with me that that was how she lived. She might have missed a bunch of Sunday masses. This was until her husband passed away about 6 years ago. Then she started attending Mass more regularly and also started going for a few daily Masses during the week. Recently, she started praying the Rosary and she even teaches a Bible class during the week. You know, as one awakens spiritually to the faith in Jesus Christ, the Son of God, we start to question about how we look at this thing we call faith. For example, regarding salvation, St. Paul in Ephesians says it is by grace and through faith that we are saved. But the more I think about it, or the more the people I know think about it, we start to ask, is it really enough, this faith? The, the, the thing that we say by grace and through faith that we are saved. So we start digging through scriptures. And I found that St. James say, you see, that a person is justified by works and not by faith alone. When I reflect on these two verses, I realize that they are not difficult to understand. We know that we cannot buy our way into heaven. It is through grace when we believe that Christ died for us to redeem us. However, when we say that we believe and we love Christ, we are not going to just stand idly by and not lift a finger to do His work. For certainly Christ expects us to work for Him, to build His kingdom while we are here on earth. Faith, I understand, is a journey as we grow into it. I find that when I'm at a lower level of faith, I had fewer questions and lived with a lot less effort, as I'm now awakened to grow spiritually. I become more aware that faith sometimes makes no sense, as humans may not have the answers to provide the evidence for our belief. We begin to question more when we are challenged to grow. In my case, anyway. So, there are more instances when I'm now having questions regarding my faith. Yet, strangely, even if there is evidence, still there is that doubt. And I did meet with a spiritual director when I was in Sedalia, Colorado. She told me that when we have all the answers, it is no longer faith in our belief. So faith is a deep trust in God's promises, while understanding is the knowledge that supports that trust. She says that when we have full knowledge, it is no longer faith. So while we are here on earth, it has to be that God is testing our trust in Him through the limited revelation in the Bible and other miraculous signs which He provides us. Even through the journey of faith, we have many different challenges, and sometimes times may seem pretty dark and confusing. But we know that we can get answers through the Bible. Thank God for this grace which He has provided us, for the Bible is a constant source of guidance for us through His words. I understand that when we read these words from the Bible and we come to understand it, we can grow our faith by using our imagination to live these words, these teachings that are being taught by the prophets, the saints, and Christ Himself. So the more creative we are in our imagination, the more we can understand these words that are given through the Bible, and the greater our faith can be. Also, through the dark times, we prove to God that we have trust in Him. And the darker the times, the greater it is our faith being tested. Hence, when we make it through these difficult times, we prove to God that we have great faith in Him. God bless.